We've now come to the part that I am so excited about. Reverend Harris is going to lead us in covenant.
It's not always easy to get back into routine once it's been disrupted. Oh, you guys have no idea what a pleasure it is to be standing here today. It's a pleasure because this is your celebration, but it's also a pleasure, a deep pleasure, to see how well you care for one another, how deeply that circle of care is made manifest. But today, rather than worry about Barbara, it is time to celebrate. You're here to celebrate everything you've accomplished since I left, which is a great deal. Everything that you have weathered, which I know is more than some of you wanted, and all your plans and hopes for the future. And the ritual that this moment calls for is the acceptance of two new covenants. The first, between you and your new minister, the Reverend Edith Love. And in a couple minutes, Bill Jensen will come forward and lead you in making that covenant on behalf of the Board of Trustees. But you have another one, which is the covenant that now exists between Edith and me, your current minister and your minister emerita. And so before we get to that one, you have to indulge me as emerita, because I want to remind you of the importance of our covenants. It's not a word that we use often enough. In fact, when I was a kid, I confused it with the word coven, which made for some really interesting conversations with my Episcopalian classmates as I tried to explain that, yes, I had a real religion, even if it had no creeds. But the covenants that bind one human being to another are essential. They are life-shaping. They are sacred promises. It's a covenant that makes a family. The vows between partners, the deep commitment between parents and children. Those promises are so fundamental to who we are, who we would be, that death or estrangement change them, but can never break them completely. There are some we never leave behind, but carry with us always. Now, our religious tradition says that we are each in covenant with life itself. That covenant is also sacred and essential. It cannot be eluded. And so it should never be interfered with, which is why we have no creeds. No one else can say how life reveals its truth to you, how the mystery sings to you, what face the sacred wears when it looks you in the eye. And we each are called to be true to that revelation. To live it out is the work of a lifetime, and we cannot do it in isolation. So we promise to walk together on our path. We are in covenant with each other as individuals, which makes us a congregation. Our congregations are in covenant with each other as institutions, which makes us members of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And ordained ministers, Edith and I, are in covenant with each other and with our tradition. Now, these four are not contracts. There's nothing transactional here. They are each open-ended promises, promises that we will make and break and keep over and over again on our path to know the truth of our lives and offer our best to the world. This is what's really important. Here, in our covenants, is our power and our strength. In a world where so much is transactional, a world where friends text and only telemarketers call you on your phone, where the line between friends and followers sometimes gets blurred, where the connection of Zoom calls and Facebook posts allow us to forget the deep joy of companionable silence. When it seems like we are living in the upside down, it is our covenants with one another that will hold us steady. For human relationships are sacred, one of the many faces of God. Here, we treasure them, and we witness to the world the sustaining, the healing power of making and keeping covenants. So this, and it sounds quite formal, is the covenant I have made with Edith. As ministers and as Unitarian Universalists, it is our desire to be in right relationship with each other. When ordained, we pledge to be a support for the best in Unitarian Universalism. And today, we pledge to support and strengthen the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Boca Raton, that it may continue to pursue its mission. We understand that congregations benefit when ministers relate to each other in ways that model healthy boundaries, clear communication with mutual respect, care, and accountability. And wanting the Reverend Edith Love's ministry to be a great success, we hereby enter into this covenant. We pledge to honor the letter and spirit of the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association's Code of Conduct, which counsels mutual sensitivity, respect, and support between us. And I, the Reverend Harris Reardon, understand the authority congregants may yield to me as their former minister of 25 years. And so I promise to exercise such influence as I still have, cautiously, transparently, and accountability. And recognizing that the Reverend Edith Love is this congregation's minister. If any of you, members, friends, ask me to participate in weddings or memorial services or baby namings, to lead worship services, to do workshops, to offer pastoral care, I will promptly refer such inquiries to the Reverend Edith Love. And should she desire to delegate any functions of ministry to your minister emerita, me, I pledge to fulfill those responsibilities as long as I am able. We, too, are committed to uphold this covenant, to practice right relationships, and to act in ways we believe to be in the best interest of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Boca Raton, its people, its ministry, and its place in the Unitarian Universalist movement. Bill, will you lead the congregation in its covenant with Edith.
Consistent with our understanding of the covenant that binds us in an evolving tradition, the congregation looks to its minister to provide spiritual leadership, historical and theological grounding, and perspective and assurance in setting goals, developing leadership, and implementing its mission. Reverend Edith, will you covenant to do these things to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
This is to the congregation. Consistent with our understanding of the covenant that binds us to an evolving tradition, the minister guides the congregation and looks to members of the congregation to live out its mission and vision, to demonstrate effective leadership, be open to change, broaden the meaning of community, and communicate issues or concerns that may arise in a forthright and respectful manner through established communication channels. Members and friends, will you covenant to do these at the best of your ability?
Yes, we will.
The following is to the trustees. The board, on behalf of the congregation, commits to remaining in covenant with the minister and holding members of the board as well as the congregation to behavior that is respectful to the minister and of the office, and that is consistent with our shared values and principles as Unitarian Universalist. Trustees, will you covenant to do these things to the best of your ability? Yes, we will.